investigations, alerts, breaking news.
President Obama in Central California to discuss the drought, what immediate and long-term plans he has to replenish the state. And local ranchers and farmers react to the president's drought strategy, what impacts we could see here in Kern County. And weeding out the pot industry, why marijuana dispensaries may be uprooted right here in Kern County.
Broadcasting live in high definition, this is KBAK Eyewitness News at 6.
President Barack Obama in Fresno today to see firsthand how the state is dealing with the ongoing drought.
Eyewitness News reporter Jonathan Gonzalez is live out there in Fresno with more on what the president plans to do. Jonathan?
Kurt, Courtney, you can see right behind me, the president has actually just landed as the sun is setting here in Fresno. Any moment he will be walking out of that helicopter, Marine One. It's his first visit to Fresno. He came to see how bad the drought really is here in California. Today, again, the president, as you now know, the President Obama, the administration announcing $160 million of drought relief for the state. $100 million of that would go to livestock farmers, who will then be able to see cash start rolling in about 60 days. The administration will also provide $60 million to food banks in California, in cities and places most impacted by the drought. Again, we're looking at a live picture of President Obama. Any moment he'll be walking out of Marine One. He'll walk over just a few yards over to the Air Force One airplane that's waiting for him. Afterwards, he's expected to go to Rancho Mirage, California, where he's expected to meet the President of Jordan, the King of Jordan, King Abdullah II. There is Mr. President right now. He flew in with Dianne Feinstein and Barbara Boxer. This is the same week that both of them introduced drought legislation, emergency drought legislation, into the Senate. He just came back from a tour of West Fresno County, where he met with Governor Brown, Congressman Jim Costa, and several other key leaders in drought and farming here in California. You can see the president walking back. It's tough to see who's with him. I believe the senators are with him as well. As he waves to the media here. Again, President Obama, you're looking at a live shot of him. He just got out of Marine One. Any moment he'll walk over to Air Force One, go to Rancho Mirage, California to meet the King of Jordan, King Abdullah. It looks like he's saying goodbye now to Senator Dianne Feinstein. Let's actually go to some sound of the president earlier today talking about his drought relief that he announced earlier.
California is our biggest economy. California is our biggest agricultural producer. So what happens here matters to every working American, right down to the cost of food that you put on your table.
One more time, you're looking at a live look of President Obama walking up the stairs into Air Force One. We want to recap a couple of those points with that new drought announcement today, the relief that his administration has announced. Again, $100 million for livestock farmers, helping them feed those animals, and $60 million to food banks in California in places most impacted by the drought. President Obama giving one last wave as he enters his plane. That's going to do it for us right now here in Fresno, in front of Air Force One. I'm Jonathan Gonzalez, Eyewitness News.
Thank you, Jonathan.
Well, the president's drought response could affect our area in a number of ways, as Jonathan touched on. Eyewitness News reporter Carol Ferguson, though, digs into the plans and possible effects. Carol?
Well, we have looked at drought impacts on farmers and shown you ranchers struggling. So today we asked what they think of Mr. Obama's plans.
Cattle in Kern are fed more hay because there's little pasture grass thanks to the drought. The president's plan would help ranchers to the tune of $100 million.
Well, there's no actual new funding that he's announced, but with him doing this announcement, he actually is giving us the funding faster.
They could sign up in 60 days. Local rancher Jack Laver says that's critical.
We know a lot of guys in the livestock industry right now that have already sold out or are on the very edge of that cliff about to fall off.
Laver says his hay barn's just about empty again. Helping to fill food banks, that's another part of the president's plan. It calls for $60 million to help families impacted by the drought. and putting 600 summer meal sites in hard-hit areas. Kern's food bank director tells me they hope to know more about the assistance by next month. Growers tell us no water means job losses and local economy impacts.
You eliminate many farm worker jobs and lots of income that would go back to the farming community.
Water for Farmers also gets Obama's attention.
That is a huge directive.
The president's new directive tells the feds to give water contractors more flexibility.
I'm trying to clear the decks and remove the red tape to allow for more flexibility in operating those projects.
The Kern County Water Agency's Curtis Creel says that could really help.
To make sure that we can maximize the movement of water and make sure that we can meet all the needs.
We live by what God gives us, and when it doesn't rain, we're in trouble.
With no pasture grass, ranchers need help, and they also depend on Water for Farmers to grow hay.
Everybody needs the help, and we all need the political help as well.
Now, as you heard, the president's plan also includes money for communities needing more water. That's a $3 million package. We'll watch to see local impacts on that as well. Back to you.
Happy Valentine's Day, everybody. The weather has been delightful today. In fact, we tied a record high temperature for the 5th time in less than a month. Unbelievable. It was really mild in January, and here we go again. Right now, 73 outside, clear skies for the most part, moderate air quality, very nice, and the moon is coming up, and it's just as lovely as it can possibly be. 70s across the region right now, 78 up in Lake Isabella, and 58 degrees up in the Bear Valley Springs area. And you can see off to the north, we do have some wind that'll be coming through. That's a high wind watch in effect for tomorrow as we push up through the areas just north of us. Temperatures today peaked at 78 degrees, that tied a record, up to 85 at Edwards Air Force Base, 88 over in Barstow and also in Burbank. Lovely everywhere. Right now, 73, 64 up on the Grapevine, 71 over in Ridgecrest, and the humidity pretty low. Very nice out there. We got a wind out of the north at about 17 up on the Grapevine, but all in all, some lovely conditions. You can see some clouds there, but no rain until you get way off to the north. We wish we had rain. But again, it's a nice weekend coming up, so that's nice too. Clear, moonlit, and mild. Tonight, temperatures in the 60s will drop to about 50 degrees first thing tomorrow morning. And in the Kern County Mountains, clear skies tonight, moonlit and cool, we'll call it. And temperatures dropping to the 60s to about 43 degrees. Full forecast for the big holiday weekend coming up in just a few minutes. Kurt and Courtney, back to you.
Thanks, Miles. A judge ruled to invalidate Kern County's Measure G, which allowed medical marijuana dispensaries to operate only in certain industrial zones within the county. Under Measure G, medical marijuana dispensaries were able to operate under heavy restrictions, only in industrial zones not within a mile of each other or within a mile of schools, daycare centers, parks, and churches. Today, Measure G was ruled invalid in Superior Court in order to be set aside. County Counsel Charles Collins says that means dispensaries will not be allowed to operate anywhere in Kern County.
The only way a dispensary was allowed to function was under Measure G. Otherwise, the dispensaries are not allowed in any zone district within the county.
We have not yet been able to speak with the attorneys for the medical marijuana dispensaries to get their reaction to the judge's ruling.
California City Police on the lookout for a man wanted for attempted kidnapping. The victim told police she was jogging Wednesday at the intersection of Hacienda and South Loop Boulevards. She tried to run past a man standing in the bicycle lane. Then he grabbed her wrist and tried to pull her into his pickup truck. She fought back and was able to get away. Cal City Police described the man as black, 6 foot tall, with tattoos on both arms. He was last seen driving a Toyota Tacoma with tinted windows.
A sex offender wanted for outstanding warrants was arrested after barricading himself in a northeast Bakersfield home. Bakersfield police say they were called in to assist the sheriff's department near Bernard and Robinson Streets. They say a police dog was used to get the suspect out of the home. He was hospitalized with minor injuries. The suspect is charged with resisting arrest along with his 3 felony warrants against him.
Sheriff's deputies warning you about a man wanted for sexually assaulting children. The sheriff's office says William Bethy has a warrant for his arrest and is charged with lewd acts with a child under 14. He's accused of molesting 2 girls in 2009 in the Glenville area. They say Bethy lives in Glenville and was possibly seen near Love's truck stop now at Page Avenue and Highway 99 in Tulare last week. Detectives say he may be transporting livestock down the West Coast. If you have information, call the Sheriff's Department.
A man responsible for 3 armed robberies last year has now taken a plea deal. 46-year-old Gregory Crite pleaded no contest to the incidents and is scheduled to be sentenced next month. Crite robbed the Wells Fargo branch at White Lane in Gosford, as well as 2 armed robberies at CVS stores last May.
A Valentine's Day argument on the road leads to a heart-stopping experience. One couple survived a sudden cliff plunge.
A bowling alley employee hailed a hero for his quick reactions, how he saved a boy who found himself in a world of trouble.